Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. What a pleasure it is to be welcomed so warmly by so many people here today. Amarjit, thank you for welcoming us to your beautiful temple. I very much look forward to coming back and seeing when it is finished, when you have the new one. Mr. Mayor, Mike, thank you for your leadership, your friendship, your service to this extraordinary community. My dear friends, MPs, thank you for being so consistently there for members of your community, for stepping up to be their voice in Ottawa, stepping up always to make sure that what happens in Ottawa, what happens within our government, is focused on everyone in this community and the communities like it across the country to be there to support. And Harj, my friend, it is always such a pleasure not just to have you by my side, but to serve alongside you. Your drive to serve community, whether it was as a police officer or a soldier, or now as a member of parliament and minister, it is extraordinary to be able to continue to make a difference in this community and in this country with you by my side. And Minister Terry, thank you so much for being here. I know Ravi's the real star of this show in this temple, but it's a pleasure to be here. See, what makes Canada great is not its mountains, it's not its weather, it's not the geography, not the nature, it's the people. People have come from every corner of the world, come together to build an opportunity for themselves, for their children. An opportunity to live alongside neighbors of every different background. People with different stories, different origins, different perspectives, different religions, different languages, and come together to build a strong and resilient community focused on creating opportunities for all, contributions that everyone can make to shape the world ahead. When I see the contributions of Ravidass, I see a drive for equality, for opportunity. I see service, the core of everything you do, and stepping up for each other, for your neighbors, for a greater world. And it's a set of values and an approach to life, to work, and to family. It isn't just yours, but it represents the very best of the ideals of all of Canada. That's why this community has thrived so much right across the country. As Arjit was saying, I visited a few months ago the Ravidass temple in Montreal in my own riding, where I have the responsibility and the opportunity to represent them. And I see the same drive to succeed and to be there for each other is the best, not just of this community, but of all Canadians. And that's where, really, when we come together to celebrate, to build the future, we see that differences in story and perspectives and backgrounds are actually not fault lines to be exploited, are not divisions that create cracks and weakness, but are exactly the thing that creates resilience and strength in our communities. Canada is one of those incredible places in the world that is strong, not in spite of its differences, but because of them. But that's not something that happens automatically. It didn't happen by accident, and won't continue without effort. Without each of us pledging ourselves to this idea of Canada. It's grounded on respect, on equality, on openness to others and their different experiences, figuring out how to move forward on the priorities that truly matter. Not just to yourselves and your family, but to every single person who shares this land. From the teachings of Guru Ravidass ji, you've inherited a legacy of equality, compassion, fairness, and service to humanity. As I said, those are values that almost all Canadians, regardless of their origins, aspire to, which is why this community has thrived so well in Canada. But they're also the values that drive this government forward. It's why we're focused on creating fairness for every generation and delivering dental care to vulnerable seniors and more who need it, delivering child care. The costs have gone down from an average of over $50 a day in British Columbia to under $20 a day, and they're still coming down. So we're moving forward on a GST break for the next 2 months as people gather, friends and family, over the coming months. Things will be a little less expensive because I know we're in a challenging time right now. It's why we're moving forward on a school food program and working with the government of British Columbia to deliver better and more food in all schools, both so kids can have full bellies when they go to study, but also parents who are squeezed, don't quite able to put together the right lunch one morning for their kids will have that opportunity at school. It takes pressure off of families, takes grocery costs off of families, but mostly it gives everyone the equality and the opportunity to succeed and to study on a full belly. I don't have to tell you that our world is going through a challenging time right now. There's a lot of turbulence, a lot of disruption, a lot of forces out there trying to divide people. Whether it's the war in the Middle East, whether it's the challenges of climate change, whether it's a rise of populist politics, or whether it's challenges within and across the Indo-Canadian community. There are people trying to divide, people who've been neighbors and friends for decades. Our responsibility as Canadians is to remember that we're there to listen to our neighbors and support them even when they're different from us. I know that this community does a better job of that than just about anyone else. And I thank you for it. It is a blessing for me to be able to join with you today, to pray alongside you, and to celebrate not just the success and the present of this community, but certainly the future as well. You have the right to your identity, you have the right to your religion, practicing freely and openly, unafraid and unashamed. That is part of your rights as Canadians, and that is something we will always stand up for, because it's the right thing to do. We stand with you, we stand with all communities, and we move together forward into a brighter future, despite the storm clouds we live through now. That is the hope we share for this country. That is why I'm so pleased to be with you today, to celebrate and move forward. Thank you all for everything. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.